In AI coding, you always hear about better prompt engineering. Write clear instructions, describe the architecture in more detail, give the agent stricter rules, and all of that helps, of course. But once you start using AI agents on real production code, you run into a much bigger question. How much does the AI actually know about the system it's working inside? Because when an AI coding agent enters an existing codebase, it has to answer a few basic questions before it can do anything that's genuinely useful. For example, which components already exist? Which existing services should I call? Which design system does this team already use? If the agent has no structured way to answer those questions, it starts reading files. A lot of files. It scans folders, opens implementations, tries to infer intent from raw code, and gradually builds a temporary, although not always accurate, picture of your system. Then you start a new task, and it often has to do the same thing again. That's where token costs start to really pile up. You pay the AI to first understand the code base before it writes the code. Every time. And then, very often, you pay it again to generate logic your team already built in another repo, or another app, or another service. And that's the part many teams miss. The waste doesn't come only from bad prompts. A lot of the waste actually comes from missing context. So when I say context engineering, I mean something very specific. Context engineering is the practice of giving the AI a structured, searchable understanding of your software system. Not just more text in the prompt, but a real map of what already exists. Your components, your design system, your existing services and their APIs. Once the AI has that kind of context, it can work in a completely different way. This is the idea behind Hope AI. Hope AI works with a native component architecture. Your front-end and back-end logic can live as reusable components with clear interfaces, metadata, docs, and dependencies. So when you ask Hope AI to build a new feature, it doesn't have to treat your codebase like a pile of raw files. It can search the component ecosystem. It can find the existing form, button, authentication flow, payment logic, data service, or backend capability that already does part of the job. And because each component exposes a clear API and documentation, Hope AI can use the component without reading the entire internal implementation every time. And that really matters. A standard agent may spend a huge share of its tokens just trying to understand your code. Hope AI can reduce that code understanding cost significantly because it works through structured component context instead of repeatedly exploring raw files. And the economics get better over time. A component you build today becomes part of the AI's working memory tomorrow. A login flow from one project can help you ship the next one. A payment component from an old app can appear again when another team needs it. A backend service your team built 6 months ago or a year ago can still be found, understood, and reused. That is where AI development starts to really compound. Your team writes less duplicate code. The AI spends fewer tokens rediscovering what already exists. And every project makes the next project cheaper, faster, and more consistent. You don't want an AI that blindly writes more files. You want an AI that understands what your team has already built, chooses the right existing assets, and creates new code only when new code is actually needed. That is how you stop paying twice for the same code. You treat your software like capital. Every component becomes an asset. Every interface becomes useful context. Every project strengthens the next one and saves you time and money. Prompt engineering still matters, of course, but prompt engineering improves the instruction, while context engineering improves the system that the AI can actually see. And in real software development, that really changes the costs. So if your AI coding agent keeps rebuilding logic your team has already built, take a closer look at the context you're giving it. Hope AI helps teams create a reusable component ecosystem, reduce unnecessary token usage, and turn existing software into structured context for your AI. Stop paying AI to relearn your codebase and start building software that compounds over time. Experience Hope AI on bit.cloud.